Find a comfortable seat where you can sit the next few minutes in your safe space that you are created. Maybe you have some incense on or lighting a candle, depending if it's night for you now. So find a position where you can really sink into and ground into and feel safe for yourself and in this container. So wherever you are, start to close your eyes and sit with a straight spine. And take a deep breath through your nose in and through your mouth out. Through your nose in and through your mouth out. And now make this a few more rounds in your own rhythm to really connect with yourself and your own breath. Through the nose in and the mouth out. And really breathing in, and with the breath out, let go everything. Maybe that you were nervous with the space, nervous about the container, nervous what this will bring to you, if you should be visible or not. Let everything allow to be here. It's about creating acceptance and the space where everything is welcome. So breathe deep in through your nose and let all go. Breathing in and out. And with your next breathing in, hold your breath at the top. Hold everything, squeeze everything, really hold the breath inside of your body. Squeeze your fists, like really feel the strength of your whole body, keeping in the breath, and then letting all go. All the tension, all the expectations you have on yourself in this container, let everything just melt. So take a deep breath in. Hold everything again, squeeze everything you can, squeeze your belly muscles, your leg, your fist, squeeze everything, hold the breath in, and release everything. And now make this 2 more times. Breathing in, hold the breath, squeeze everything, all the tensions, all the doubts, all the expectations, all the fears, and then breathing out and let everything go. And just stay here for a moment. Just come back to your normal breath. And just allow to be in your raw expression. Allow yourself to let everything be. The fears, the doubts, the expectations you have on yourself and something around you. Maybe this container, maybe on your life. Let all the tension just melt away. And let it sink into the ground. Arriving here in this space. And be thankful that you show up for yourself. Be thankful that you give yourself that space, that you give yourself that 1 month of a deep inner journey, which is actually the biggest self-love you can give yourself. You are worthy enough in your eyes to give yourself, to receive that. So be aware of that. Big, big, big love you are giving to yourself, receiving whatever you will receive here the next few weeks. The attention you give yourself, the love and the attention and the care you give yourself the next 4 weeks. What a gift. Your inner world will thank you and will provide you a lot of insights and understandings to overcome all the blockages, all the fears, that are sometimes freezing us, making us not able to act or move in the way that we maybe desire or want or what we need. So it's really about acknowledging, appreciating yourself in that space. And then take another deep breath in and out. And then bring your right hand to your heart. And then the left hand over your right hand. And just connect here with your heart. Connect with the love that you're giving yourself. To let all parts be seen by yourself. All the parts you're ashamed of, all the parts you don't want to look at because they feel so uncomfortable. But you give yourself permission. You give yourself the love and the acceptance in this 4 weeks. So give yourself here that commitment to not shame yourself, to not beaten yourself down for everything that's coming up. Commit to yourself that you really allow yourself to see yourself in all these parts that you like to hide and suppress and hate away. We really want to melt into love and acceptance. So really connect with your heart and that commitment to yourself. It's all about you, the connection to yourself. It's not about me. It's not about the other woman in this container. It's not about the expectations. It's all about you and the love you give yourself in the next 4 weeks. To give yourself so much love that you're able to look at all these parts. So connect in silence for a few breaths with that commitment. And I will say now some affirmations and you can repeat them in your mind or out loud, or you can just listen and receive them. I allow myself to be seen by myself in all parts. I allow myself to soften and surrender with all these rejected parts inside of me. I fully accept and love myself. I give myself fully permission to be seen by myself. I give myself the opportunity to take care of me. I give myself the space and the care that I deserve. I am worthy of my own love. And just feel into these, let them sink in. And then slowly, slowly, maybe bring your hands onto your legs, touch them a bit. Maybe start to move your body in some circle motions to just awaken that we are not just in the mind with affirmations, that we're also swirling the energy in our bodies with it. So we feel them, we feel ourselves. So just start to make some Sufi circles, just wide circle motions around your body. Nothing intense, really slow and soft, just to move your spine, the energy. This is a really good exercise to swirl up denser energies in your lower chakras if you feel unsafe or full of fear. So come into your body, come into your space with yourself. And then make the circle smaller. And then slowly, slowly come back into the middle. Take a deep breath. in and out, and slowly blink your eyes open and come back here to this space. And then when you are slowly back into the present moment, I would appreciate if you let me know in the chat box. When you slowly come back, let me know in the chat box if you're still here, if the internet connection is still stable, if you even received that meditation. Yeah, so I really hope that you all, even if maybe there was something breaking in between, you could receive it. Lisa, do you maybe let me know if it worked? Yeah? Did it interrupt at some points?
I guess 3 times. Yeah.
But did it still work for you to come into this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. I feel more relaxed now. I was really a little bit inside of freaking out. Mm. So this is our first exercise, patience. So next week, no worries. I will be in the other place where the internet connection is stable. I really thought it will work out, but yeah. But we will make it work. We will learn to be in the messiness now. Okay, this is really intense. Ah, and just give me a second. Okay. Yeah. I will try again and we see, but if it's not getting better, I will try to go into the cafe next door. Because we are not making an intense embodiment practice, so it's fine. But yeah, still, I feel more calm now. The exercise helped me to come into my body. Okay, try. Okay, so yes, first of all, before we deep into this underworld work to understand, I really want to give this knowledge of how important it is for us to feel safe in our bodies. Because if we are not feeling safe in our bodies, we are going into the mind. And the mind is making us crazy. The mind is creating all this fears and all these doubts. So the somatic part is a really important part to come into safety. And this is the reason why this program includes also some practices that you will hopefully then implement in your week. And also we do them here now with the meditation and the breathing. These are all the things to give us help in the nervous system to be safe enough to tap into ourselves deeper. Because if we are just in panic and our body is just in like a nervous system survival, there is no ability for us to really understand ourselves, understand the fears we have, understand the blockages. So for me personally, there are so many times where I freak out. And in the morning, I always do my yoga practice. And the moment I do my yoga practice, I can observe my mind shifting from panic mode, trying to figure out things, thinking everything is really bad, to shifting to like, oh, this is the reality and this is what you can do. So I was reading and studying the past years a lot about neuroscience, a lot about somatics. Because of my own trauma therapy, I was reading a lot of books about trauma. So breathe, the freezing moment. So I'm back. Yeah, really, let's take us to freeze moments to take deep breaths. That's a really practice from the universe. So yeah, it's really it's an important part that we cannot solve our issues and our trauma and our limiting beliefs just through the mind. We need to come into safety in our body. And as I said, I was learning a lot, doing a lot of work to understand the holistic approach of everything. So that's why we start the workshops with a little bit of movement and breathing. And also I will give you the exercises in the email. So to make you even more aware, like if you are stuck with something and you are panicking, there is no reason to think out of this. You have to implement a practice of movement and breathing and meditation to make this work, to help yourself, to connect deeper with yourself. Like I did 12 years of talk therapy, 12 years of talk therapy, and it brought me far. Like from I want to kill myself, I was able to survive, to just be in my life and go to work. But at some point, it all crumbled because it's not enough. We have to also come into our bodies. This is where all these intense fears are like really hitting. So if we are traveling 4 weeks in this journey into our subconscious, we only can travel in our subconscious if we are able to give us a little bit of safety. So that's why it is so important that this container feels safe for you. So if you need to put the camera off, it's fine. If you need to hide to feel safe, whatever you need to feel safe, this is your task in this. This is what it is about for you. What do you need to feel safe, to connect with yourself, to understand your deeper limiting fears and beliefs that keep you stuck in your life? Why you cannot move, why you cannot change in your life, why you cannot stand up for yourself, all these things. So to really give that appel to you, that it's on you to create that safety within yourself. And I provide these exercises to give you the guidance, because I know it's really hard to make it on your own. And also, these are not big yoga lessons. That will be smooth, simple things to do. So, and now I will share a little bit about it. So maybe let me know in the chat box if you can see, or give me a thumbs up or something. Perfect, amazing. And also it seems like the internet is fine. I don't know, maybe it was a test for myself, like, oh, we just make you unreasonable afraid. So, but we breathe through it. That's the work. Here's an example. You have to breathe through it and go through it sometimes. Yeah. So, welcome to the 4 weeks journey into the dark feminine, which maybe seems like frightening at first, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and this is what this all is about. There is hope. There is always hope, and we will go into the underworld, into our subconscious, to bring light. We bring light there. It's like we're walking with our candle into the underworld of our own psyche and put this light there and be like, hey, let's have a look. And then we will see that maybe in the basement there are not waiting horrible demons. It's maybe just our little inner child totally freaking out. And we just go there and like pick it up and pet it and give it love and understanding. And then this demon will turn into a beautiful butterfly. This is the beautiful side of shadow work. It's not just about, oh my God, I'm so fearful of my own. This is the reason why shadow exists, because we are afraid of it. So we are like, oh my God, oh my God. And then it's creating this big monster. And the moment we are turning towards it with the light, it disappears. Of course, it's not that simple, but it is like in bigger terms, in a bigger picture, it is that simple. So to give a little bit of that. So we in the first week, which is the introduction week. So today it will be more about like arriving at that space. What is this all even about? Like dissolving all these questions you maybe even have about this space. Um, this week is about descent to the dark feminine. So we are starting to slowly walk down the stairs into the underworld. But before we did that, we are really making sure you feel safe, that you are that oh, I was maybe gone. I can sometimes see the little sign. So we will start. Oops, where is it? There. Okay, still see it? Perfect. So we will start slowly to descend down into the underworld. So this is all about taking away the fear that you maybe have about this work. So the dark feminine. So I know Lisa was part of my dark feminine workshop, and I know Elisa was in my workshop in Guatemala last year. But for Francie and Martha, so to give you a little overview about the dark feminine. So the dark feminine is the aspects in us women that are known as intuition, wilderness, destruction, and the transformation, and also the unconscious. So the dark feminine has a really significant role in the collective unconscious, which I will explain later. And she refers as the archetype of the aspects of the feminine that are often seen as dangerous or not socially accepted. So these are a lot of, she represents a lot of these parts that the society and the world doesn't want to see. It's like intense emotions, rage, crying, freaking out, like crushing things because it's just all too much. So it is destruction and it is a little bit of chaos. Um, but at the same time, it is the invitation for transformation. So it is a really powerful force, and that's why it is really feared by a lot of women and by society, because it was imprinted into us that chaos and destruction is bad, but sometimes it's needed in order to get a rebirth. And especially when we are thinking about us women that are shaped and conditioned into a special kind of format and box, which is not us. We need to destruct that. We need to rip it apart and to come to our truth. So, in terms of connecting with our authenticity, connecting with our true selves, it is really important to have this destructive power to come into our core, where we want to head into. And so the dark feminine, as the shadow, she encouraged us to confront our own unconscious and rejected parts of our personality. So the dark feminine is actually the part of us that we can use to work with, to go through these parts, to bring them into the light and resolve that inner tension and conflict from the conscious and unconscious. So maybe let me know every now and then if it's the internet connection is okay or not, if I'm cut off a lot. It's fine. That was okay, good. Just getting super paranoid. Okay. Of course, I just wanted to receive by you all well in the flow of this. But yeah, also it's maybe good for me to be more aware what I'm saying. So the dark feminine is a beautiful energy, a beautiful archetype that is the key to self-acceptance and self-realization. So it's really this dark intense energy, which we can use for self-acceptance. So it's not just the bad parts and everything is dark and bad. It's really an empowering tool. That's why we use it. We want to use it in that way. So, and so coming now to the deeper understanding of our psyche and the collective unconscious and the dark feminine. So I don't want to go too deep into the dark feminine because I know some of you already was in the workshop. But Francie or Martha, please let me know if it's still like unsure or unknown to you what the dark feminine is representing, that it's not something evil or bad. It is just the other aspect of the feminine. So it's like the light energies of the feminine is like caring and loving and comforting and nurturing. And the dark feminine is like powerful, passionate, chaotic, intense. It's just another spectrum of the feminine. It's nothing bad to suppress, but through social conditions, it is often repressed and turning into a feminine shadow. So let me know if this is clear to you or if you need more explanations on that. Okay, perfect. And yeah, you both have the recording. So if you're more curious about that, you can just go through the recording of the Dark Feminine workshop and just go to the part where I explain it a bit. Maybe this can also help for this work, but it's not necessary. Okay, so I would really like to know if any of you know about the collective unconscious in Carl Jung's work. In the chat box, of course, you can. Ooh, Martha, you don't know? Okay, Francie, yeah, I can imagine. I know. And Lisa, did you say yes, or was this another yes at some point? Not really. Okay, that's no problem. That's why you're here. Because Carl Jung is he was a psychoanalyst, and he implemented a lot of knowledge and work about our psyche. And he was really in connection and in touch with the spiritual realms and with the with other indigenous teachings. So, can you see that? Okay. So he was a really important role into an understanding of ourselves, of inner journeys. So his work is really the base of everything that I'm working with because it has a lot of he's like the bridge to the mystic world because he explains a lot of the, I say, Western analytical thinking, bridging it to the mysterious. I was gone for a second. So he is the bridge between the Western analytical psychology in a deep study, bridging to the mystery and the spiritual world. So he is the one that understood a lot about geometric and symbolism in dreams, dream work, all these kind of things is from Carl Jung. And so he also implemented that awareness of the collective unconscious, which is, so you all hopefully know what the unconscious means. So the conscious is what we know, what we are aware of. Like I'm Kati, I see here a computer, whatever. This is my behavior that I'm aware of. I know it. And then we have the unconscious, the subconscious, which is in the hidden, which I'm not aware of, but which is still giving me some behaviors or reactions. So of course, if you're triggered, this is something from your subconscious, stored information, stored emotions, stored memories, shooting so intensely to your reaction that you overreact without understanding why. So this is how your subconscious or your unconscious can react. But also it's a good thing. Like this is where all the wisdom or the intuition is coming from. It's like our inner guidance, our inner oracle. And Carl Jung implemented the awareness that the unconscious mind that is a shared between all humans is like also in our part of the unconscious. So we all have a part in our unconsciousness that we share with the collective, with everyone in this world. And there are all the stored universal experiences, memories, and archetypes, which means you have in your subconscious not only your own drama and your own limiting beliefs because you were maybe bullied in school, or you had a really bad experience with an ex-partner, or there is a lot of childhood experience with your parents where they didn't take care, or like something was not well. So there's a lot of stored experiences and emotions that impacting you as you are today, how you feel sometimes, how you react sometimes. So this is the personal work you have to do to bring that into the conscious. This is what we are doing in the 4 weeks. But there's also a collective unconscious, especially around the dark feminine, where we all have, as women, shared feminine experiences from the collective, which means in a world where women were suppressed and raped and killed for millennials, this is stored even in our subconscious, which means like sharing the witch wound. I don't know if any of you know about the witch wound. I know that we are all witches in this container, which is amazing. So you all should know about the witch wound, which is like the wound of witches or women were burned alive on stake back in times. And these wounds can still impact us today, that we are afraid to speak up, that we are afraid to share our magic and our power. So this is, for example, something that is the collective unconscious, because it happened to a lot of women. It didn't happen to you. It didn't happen to your mom, but it impacts you. And then you have your own subconscious, which is the impact you have from your own experiences and the experience of your generations, which is the experience of your mom and your grandmother. So just to give an understanding how deep our psyche is, and it is said that our consciousness is 5% and our subconscious is 95%. That means all these emotions, all these experiences, all these things which are the guiding force of your overreaction, of your fears, of your blockages, of all the things that stand in the way between you and your life that you want in peace and safety, and the goals you have and the desires you have, everything that is between, it's all the hidden force of the subconscious, of your own experience, the experience of your generation, and the experience of the collective. So to give you an understanding, not you are miserable, you are not good enough or not strong enough. There's so much that impacts us, so much we have imprinted in our mind, that we are not good enough, that we are not doing enough, that we have to hide, that we have to be fearful as women. So this is a work, everyone has to do this work. But for us women, we have much more, because look into the world. What happens to women for thousands and thousands of years? We get suppressed, we got killed, we are not respected, we have no rights. And even if it got better by time, like 1970 was the first time when it was really like more rights to women in terms of having their own bank account and all these kind of things. So it's actually just like 50, 60 years ago. So you can imagine how much is stored in our subconscious, how much is stored in our collective unconscious about being a woman today in this life. There's so much in our heads that is telling us we have to be shy, we have to be silent, we have to don't fucking feel and move and whatever. Like there's so much in us. That means if I'm like I am personally, I'm a really sensitive, intense, emotional woman. And I think just by being that, and by all the impressions of society, of the culture, of my generation, and of all the women in the world, I got imprinted that I'm bad, that I'm not good enough. Because the world and all the energy in our society is the woman has to be silent and just being like this housewife, or just being da 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 da, you know, like there's so much what we have to be as women. So it's not just our childhood conditioning. It's not just the experience we maybe have with friends and partners. It's also the experience of this culture, of this society that tells us constantly we are not good enough, we are too much, we are too miserable, we are insane, we are crazy. I mean, just think about hysteria. Hysteria was a officially sickness. Women got treated because they were sexual aroused or emotional. There was treatment and medicine and the allowing to torture women because they were emotional. And that was just like 60 years or something ago. So just imagine how this is imprinting you. So if you ever think, and I mean, I'm on the same side, I always forget that. But then I come back to this understanding and this awareness. And then I'm like, wait a minute, there's so much shit imprinted in me. Of course, I feel that way. So to really understand the intensity of our psyche and how much it impacts us. And we think we are not good enough, but this is all these hidden imprints that make us feel that way. So this is the problem, but what can we do? Because that's why we're here, because I'm not just accepting that, like, oh, okay, thank you. I got shaped and suppressed and the whole femminehood and the whole womanhood, and now I'm here have to feel still miserable and not good enough and fearful about not being perfect. So that's why he also is the terms from Carl Jung is shadow work and individuation. So individuation is becoming one true original self. So it is to uncover all the imprints, all the conditionings, all the superficial things, everything that no longer serves us, everything that's not really be part of us. So we have to go into this journey of uncovering and unlayering all this shit to come into our true self. Because as I was sharing, there's a lot. We have a lot of conditions of childhood, a lot of conditions of personal experience in school, with friends, with partners, in our jobs, in social dynamics, all these things. And we have to rip them out of our heads, out of our consciousness to come to our true self, which we are all powerful, beautiful, intuitive, magical women. And you can also, if you want to go deeper into it, you can study it by yourself. I give you a little overview of this whole deep psychology because it's a lot, and I want to focus more into you making you aware and giving you tools, and then you can help yourself. But to make you understand, you are so much more, and our psyche is so deep. It's not just you being, oh, why I'm not strong enough to defend myself. Oh, can I not just think away this fear? Or why can I not stand up and do my shit? Because there's a lot of forces working in your psyche. And we are not hopeless in it. We have a lot of things we can do. So in the individuation process, there's a lot of parts of ourselves. I go through them super quickly. So the psyche is our entire human mind. It's the conscious and the unconscious part. So it is the part that you're aware of and is the part you don't know. Then the ego is you all know what the ego is. That's your identity that navigates in this outer world in reality, which is there to protect you, to defend you, to really make sure you survive, which this is the tricky part of the ego, because maybe in the past we created some survival mechanisms to survive, but we don't need them anymore. So the ego is navigating us through this reality. And then the persona is where it gets more critical, but it's a needed part to be to navigate as a woman, for example, through this society. Like, of course, I have to give myself the allowance and the space to let out my rage at some point. But of course, I'm not going into my workplace and raging out in my workplace. That would affect me negatively. So I need to find this persona, which is acting out in a professional way in my workplace. So this persona is a needed part in my psyche to navigate through this world as well. But at the same time, if it's our social mask, so we should not identify too much with it. So that means you can be that kind and softing and harmonious woman at work. This is maybe your personas, like you're in a professional context, but you need to be aware that you give your other parts in yourself the space to expand and express. And this is where this work will happening, where you get some tools to go deeper into the parts that you don't allow to express yourself because you maybe resonate too much with your persona. And then the shadow is the unconscious aspects of our personality that we suppress because we think they are not welcomed. For example, this wild, raging woman, personally my biggest shadow, why I need to go into the jungle and dance 12 hours in the night to release all this rage that is stored because society was telling me like, shh, no, no. So this is, for example, a shadow that needs somehow a healthy expression in the right environment. And yeah, as I said, the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. So shadow work, what we are kind of doing here in a really safe time, is exploring these hidden parts of ourselves and integrate them. So that's all the aspects of ourselves that we avoid and that we suppress. And this is, for example, fears, insecurities, the traits that we maybe consider negatively when others see them in us. And so we will make them conscious for us. It's not about showing them to everyone or showing them in the group. If you can, you don't need to. It's about making them aware to yourself. And just giving a little example, for me, this is also natural. So I have to understand, like, okay, how much do I need to explain to you that you understand? Um, so, for example, this is you, and you are in your job. Mm, and it's like you receive maybe some criticism or some feedback. And then you think like, oh, I did not do a great job. And then this is like getting into your shadow, like, oh, I'm not good enough. And it can happen that maybe our ego is in the way. So maybe we cannot, like, there's many ways how we perceive criticism. So maybe I got criticism and I'm immediately like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm miserable. I should immediately drop my job and never do this again. And then I'm like so ashamed of it. Like, this is the moment where we are so ashamed of not being perfect, of not getting into the expectations someone else has of us. There's so much shame that we cannot hold this feeling, so we put it in a shadow. And then if we don't look at it and we just continue because we have to, maybe I feel like horrible for a few days, then I suppress that shit. I don't think about it anymore. Then maybe in a week later, I get totally depressed and anxious and I'm like, huh, what's going on? I don't understand. And at some point, maybe I reject my shadow on someone else, like a coworker that's not doing the perfect job, but I have to be perfect, but no, blah, blah, blah. And then I project it onto another person. So it is maybe a weird example, but it's an example to give you an understanding what happens if we are not capable to deal with things that get thrown to us in this world. If I'm getting criticism, or if I'm not getting validation immediately, or if I'm going through a difficult time, like I can get so incapable to hold my own failure because I think I have to be perfect because this is what society was telling me. You have to be perfect or you're miserable. And I'm like, oh my God, I did a mistake. I feel so miserable. I'm so ashamed. I need to suppress it and just feel horrible. And then there is like depression and anxiety and perfectionism, like all these kind of symptoms. We are wondering what's going on, why I'm not strong enough, why I'm not this enough. It's because of all these things happening to us. So it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of self-love to look at these parts that we reject because we were not loving enough ourselves in the first place, that when they came our way, we were like, no, I know that I'm good. I know that I'm loved. Yes, I understand I did a mistake. I'm not perfect. I'm just a human. So we want to go, or we want to cultivate in the 4 weeks an inner strength. We want to implement a praxis to connect to our inner world, to create an inner strength that we know, like, if something is coming my way, or if something is facing me that is making me fearful or overreacting or freezing or whatever, I'm confused by it, I don't understand. We want to cultivate tools and inner strength to be resilient enough to face, like, oh, what is coming my way? Why is it like that? Why I'm reacting like that? What does it mean? And what can I do instead? So it is really about creating that inner strength, creating that resilience to face the parts that we reject in the first part. And I hope you understand. Please let me know, maybe after I finished, if you understand all what I was telling you, because I'm doing this like I'm studying these things like over a decade. So I'm really deep into it, and I'm trying to bring it in bits and pieces to you. But maybe something is missing, maybe something is too fast, too unclear, too, I don't know, missing. So let me know if you understand this whole universe of your psyche is really deep and complex. There are a lot of parts that having hidden forces inside of you. It's not all your fault, but it's your responsibility to look at it, to understand why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting. And I just want to share a little personal realization for me that I understood. Even if I do all this work for many years, it doesn't mean that I'm aware of everything, of course not. But I understood that I have a really low self-worth, which is really fragile. Like, so if something from the outside is coming, I'm not capable to hold it. So I'm immediately shamed. I'm immediately crumble and put it somewhere else. And then I fall into this victim mode of like, I'm the poorest thing on earth. Why is this life torturing me? This is not, I don't deserve that. I'm miserable. I need to die. And this is because I'm not capable to hold something that comes my way. I'm immediately crumble. I immediately fall into victimhood. I cannot even look at it anymore. So over the years, I have to build up a lot of inner strength and like resilience in my body to get something my way, to look at it like, oh, what is the truth? Where is their truth? Maybe I'm not the perfect human, because I'm not. It's okay to not be. And if I have enough self-love and enough self-acceptance, I can look at these things and decide, oh yeah, maybe I should work on that. Or I decide like, oh no, this is your shit. I put it away. And I had good times, and right now I have really bad times, which everything I'm explaining here right now, it's like a life life examples, because I fall into the trap lately where I received a lot of criticism, and I was not resilient enough to pick out what is maybe true and I have to work on, and what is their shit. So if I cannot understand the difference, I put it all into, it's me, I'm miserable, I'm a piece of shit. And that's it. And no, there's maybe some things I really have to look at. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. But there's also stuff that is not true, and I put them away. So this is really a deep understanding from my side, what I have to change or what I have to rebuild more. And the past weeks, I did all the practices I'm sharing with you now because they helped me. I'm not saying I'm safe. I'm still really struggling. But these practices help me to come back into my center, to see more clear, to strengthen myself, to build up that inner strength, to be ready to look at all these forces happening around me and inside of me and acting out of me. So it's really important to cultivate the next weeks for yourself a safe space where so this is one part that I will share it in the email, you will create a safe space with an altar. Because this is the way how I always, like I trained my subconscious that the moment I'm on my mat, I'm around my altar, it's giving me that sign of I'm safe, I'm taking care of me. So I'm rewiring my brain with that. So, and for you to connect with the dark feminine, to connect with the underworld, to connect with the dark parts, and to cultivate a space of safety. The first task I will as I said, it will be in the email, but I just wanted to share it with you here because it's pretty and to show you how nice it can be. So you will create yourself a space in your room, maybe with a yoga mat or with a cushion, with like an altar you create. And then you can go to this place every time when we gather, but it's also part of the work or like of the container that you cultivate an inner practice, as I was saying here, building a commitment to this work, building a commitment to yourself. Because of all the knowledge about therapy and self-help, I know cultivating a self-trust, a commitment to yourself is the most important thing. Even if you commit to drinking just a glass of water every day, will change all the wiring of your brain that you're good enough to work on yourself and to take care. So committing to this container, committing to this connection to yourself by building an altar and a safe space where you will go and sit with the email, and then you get your breathing exercise and your meditation and some journal prompts. And you can do this once a week. You can say like, okay, I really don't have the energy, so I will do it once a week. Sunday, we have the workshop where I explain some things and we will make some exercises and explorations. But then it's your commitment to yourself to cultivate that inner connection with you, going to your safe space, meditating, breathing, journaling. And I invite you to do it every day, even if it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Every day, giving yourself the time, or once a week, however you can. But I invite you to do it every day. And then doing the practices that you get sent via email. So we want to cultivate that connection with our inner landscape in the self-exploration. And yeah, so you can put in there some candles for protection, for your altar to connect with the dark shadow realms. So you can have a black candle for the shadow and a white candle for bringing in the light. You can put some things for the elements, like a glass of water, incense for air, candle for fire, wood for earth. You can place your favorite crystals. You can place any objects that remind you or help you, that helps you with connecting with these energies. So this is your own creative part where you decide what do I want to connect with my dark feminine, with my dark parts that I'm afraid of or judging or shaming. And I'm cultivating the space with an altar. I'm presenting it. Maybe you want to draw your dark goddess. Maybe you want to get creative and draw something. Or maybe you want to buy something that you think this could help you to strengthen. Or maybe you find, oh, this necklace, for example. I have this necklace. This is my symbol. It's like with bones and like a dark red stone. So this is for me a symbol of transformation and death, which stands for the dark goddess. So I put it on my altar. It is symbolizing for me the dark goddess. So maybe you have something in your place already that is fitting to it. And I just put here some pictures of my altars back home, which I don't have with me, but there's the Kali altar and my dark goddess Lilith altar. So I implemented like colors like black and red, dark stones, stuff like that. So, yes, as I said, you will get the email with the exercises tomorrow because you have evening, and so I have the whole day to prepare it. I got so free to give myself that little treat, as I said, I'm not in the best conditions right now, so I hope it's okay for you if you receive Monday morning the email with all the tasks. So you can just let all what you receive now, you just give yourself time to let it settle. And then you get the email. And there will be a meditation practice. I will record that meditation. So it is the invitation to do the meditations at least once before next week. But I recommend it do it more often. It's up to you. That's your own commitment. You decide how deep you want to go. You decide how strongly you want to commit. Challenge yourself. Be soft with yourself. It's up to you. But at least do it once because we want to speak about it when we come together. And if you don't want to speak, you can write in your chat what you experienced, or you don't do it at all. It's again up to you. But I personally I'm since many years in women's circles and groups, and sharings are really powerful to let us not feel alone in it, to not feel us so insane with things. We feel like, oh, I'm not alone. Yesterday I shared that I think I'm going mad sometimes, and all these women are like, me too, me too, me too. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not that bad. So it can help you, but it's up to you. And yeah, so there will be the meditation practice. That you cultivate your altar. And I will put in a video, like a yin yoga video. And I wanted to record it from I doing the yin yoga, but I didn't. I didn't do it. So I want to know if it's okay for you if I implement a link to a YouTuber that is doing a great yin yoga practice, which I would recommend to do at least once before we gather, but I also recommend do it more often because yin yoga is how we are soothing in our nervous system, how we feel safe. And this is the base that we need to feel safe to open up to all this work. So I deeply recommend. This is what my teacher recommended me for years. And I was like, I don't want to do fucking yin yoga. But I did it and it helps me all the time. I start to cry. I start to feel myself. I feel better. So yin yoga is a really beautiful tool to feel safe. You will get some breathing, meditation, and some journal questions to deepen the connection to yourself and the inner work. And then next week, oops, wrong slide. Next week, we will start with the strengthening through meeting the archetypes. So next week is all about building these inner resources because in week 3, we are facing the shadow. We really go deep with meditation and imagine journeys. So before we go deep, we want to make sure that you have a lot of resilience, that you have a lot of light in your hand, like we pack you full with candles and light before we go into the underworld. So we will explore more the archetypes so you can pick your archetype. So yeah, next week will all about being strengthening, meeting the archetypes. So that was the introduction part. And maybe please let me know in the chat box, was it too much? Did you understood? Do you understand what it is about? Do you have questions? And in case it was frozen too much, I can see that my recording is always recording. So the recording is in one line. So if you have the feeling that the cutting off was really annoying and you missed a lot of it, I recommend you to look at the recording after this. I know it's not the best condition. I will make sure the next time it will be better. But if you have the feeling there was cutting off a lot, maybe go through the recording. Okay. And is the concept of all that clear for you as well? You can also do this. I love that, Francie. Emoji, thumb up. Perfect. I don't need more. We always find ways. You want to know? We always find ways to communicate and to make it work. Okay. Lisa, let me know if you... Yes, me too. Okay. If you have the feeling it is too much, let it sink in. Sit with it. Go through the recording again. Give yourself time to digest everything. And also all the exercises the next week will help. But it's also for me important because as I'm right now in this work also, I'm letting go of expectations to me being perfect and out not being so full of shame. So I want to be open to feedback, to tell me, was it too much talking? Was it too fast? Like, please be honest, because this is, I do it for you. I do this work to make it understanding to you. So it's important that you get it. It's important that it's in the way how you receive it. So you can text me in the group or you can text me privately. I'm open to receive your feedback to adapt for next week and the other weeks how you better receive all this. So I was saying the workshops are like around 1.5 hours. So now is the point, is any of you short in time and needs to leave in the next 15 minutes, or are you open for a guided meditation? Like I will still do the meditation, but is someone short in time and needs to jump off in like right now, like on 12, now for you it's a different time. So if you have time around 30 more minutes. Yeah, good, good, good. Then I can flow. Yeah, with time I have a little bit of struggle. But also that it's okay. That's really interesting, you know, like this is really the space to allow that we are not perfect, but we work on it. But yeah, not being super ashamed. And I really tried to be so perfect in giving that workshop the past weeks that it was not nice how I felt after. So I'm trying now to be authentic, not chaotic, authentic. Okay, I think I said everything important before we go into the deeper trance states. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Maybe I share that quick part, just to sum it up, because I would like we go into the meditation after that, and after the meditation, you are welcome to share, but I will be in silence. Who wants to share can share in the chat box or speaking. Otherwise, we will just slowly really end this call so that you will be in that energy. So to sum up that workshop, it is about getting aware of our inner parts. There are monkeys on the roof. I hope you don't hear it. They woke me up this morning. Okay, they are gone now. Crazy. Okay, so it's about being aware of our inner parts, including the dark feminine parts, the ones we are, so that we are willing to accept them, even if we don't like them. And that we get a reflection of our own personal experience and own aspects of life situations around that theme of like the dark feminine, all these suppressed things in our personality that is not welcomed by the outside, so we suppressed it. So it's about like make you aware, like what happened in your life. Why do you maybe hide these parts? Why you're afraid? Why you're ashamed? And then it's about integrating these parts by creative expression through writing, drawing, dancing, whatever. And these expressions bring the unconscious part into light. So even if you're thinking like, oh, but I don't get insights or don't get understandings, by drawing or by moving or by other expressions, they can come into light. Like a lot of my insights came through shamanic dances or aesthetic dances or through yoga or like whatever it is for you. So don't have pressure on yourself that you have to do something to get them. No, I give you the exercise and you will see what happens, but you have to do the exercise. So we will now slide into the darkness a little bit to give you a guided journey towards that. So yes, you can turn your camera off, you can turn it on however you want, but make yourself comfortable, sorry, in a seated position in your, how you can sit the next few minutes. I will also turn my camera off so that I can just focus on guiding you through the meditation. So, wherever you are, make sure you're in a comfortable seat, comfortable position. You can decide if you either want to be seated or lying down. Close your eyes gently and just take some deep breaths through your nose, in and out. And feel how your abdomen, your belly is expanding fully with air. Hold here for a moment and then slowly exhale through the mouth. Just let everything settle that we went through. Deep breath through the nose and through the mouth. Deep out. So arrive here in your space. Deep breaths. Hold for a moment again. And then exhale slowly through the mouth, releasing stress and tension. And as you settle into stillness, visualize roots extending from the base of your spine, like your sitting bones, deep into the earth. And these roots anchor firmly into the earth, providing you with stability and support. And really feel the nourishing energy of the earth rising through these roots, filling you with warmth and strength, supported by Mother Earth for this deep journey. And with each breath, imagine this energy flowing up through your body, bringing a sense of grounding and connection. Breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, let go of any distractions and worries. And really begin to turn your attention inwards and visualize with your closed eyes. Picture a set of ancient stone stairs before you, like these medieval big, bold stone stairs full of moss and really mystical. And they're leading you down into the depths of the underworld. And as you go down these stairs, you feel the air gets cold and everything gets more still, carrying the weight of ages past. And with each step you take down the stairs, feel yourself becoming more deeply attuned to the energy of this underworld. Breathe in the rich, earthy scent of the stone. As you descend, allow yourself to feel a sense of anticipation and curiosity. To allow everything, maybe fear, but be open, be curious. Nothing can happen to you. And at the bottom of the stairs, you find a chamber with soft flickering lights around the walls from the candles. And the atmosphere is charged with mystery. This is a sacred place, a realm where you can connect with the deeper aspects of yourself. So there's nothing to be feared. It is a mystery, magical, sacred, safe space in the underworld. And in the center of this chamber, you sense this powerful presence, the dark feminine. She embodies the shades of womanhood, the shadow self. And as you step closer, you see her standing in her authority and in her grace, in her power. And she maybe appears in various forms, whatever your unconscious wants to reveal to you. Give yourself some time to let your imagination wander around. How does she look? Maybe you don't see anything. Maybe you feel something. Just allow it to be there, whatever is, and to let come up everything that wants to come up. And approach her with respect and openness, allowing her energy to envelop you, to sink into you. And now feel the weight of her presence, understanding that she carries the complexity of the feminine experience, including strength, intuition, and the darker aspects, often in shadow form. But also be aware that everything you share with her, the shadow, the hidden, you also share in the collective unconscious, the strength, the intuition, and the power. So take a moment to acknowledge all shades of the dark feminine and feel her inviting you to embrace the qualities that she represents. The good, the strong, but also the fearful, the chaotic, destructive ones. Allow everything to be there. And allow yourself to feel the energy of these qualities flowing through you. Breathe into them, acknowledging their existence and their power. And then ask yourself, what qualities of the dark feminine do I recognize inside of me? And give yourself time in the dark chambers with her powerful presence and this question, what qualities of the dark feminine do I recognize in me? Maybe I have a part in me that is fearful, raging, want to destroy everything, want to just freak out, that I suppress, but actually it's part of me. Do I have a side in me that is wild, untamed, liberating sexuality, living freely, but is afraid, so I suppress it? Maybe there's a side in me that is powerful and strong, stand up for herself like a queen, but I suppress it because it's not welcome in this world, I think. These are all parts you maybe have inside of you, you're not aware or you suppress. So whatever qualities you share with the dark feminine of the collective or the personal, just observe yourself in her presence, in her energy, in the underworld. And you will be here in silence for a couple more minutes to be in that dark underworld, in this mystery realms with her and her energy. Just you allowing to feel her presence. When you feel complete, express gratitude to the dark feminine and her presence and her guidance. And know that you can return to this chamber into the underworld in her energy whenever you wish. Begin to make up your way to the ancient stone stairs, carrying the insights and connections you've made. And as you ascend, feel the energy of the underworld empowering you. You're brave that you went down there with the light in your hands, the candle, your power, your willingness to overcome your fears and your shadows. Return to the awareness to your breath. Feel the ground beneath you once again, underneath your sit bones. Come back into this reality as you were walking up the stairs. So as you're leaving that space, come back into your space in this earth realm. And if you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. If you're laying, roll to one side and slowly come up. If you're sitting, slowly blink your eyes open and come back into the present moment. And now you have begun this powerful journey with the dark feminine, preparing you for all the explorations ahead. This was your initiation. And now, come back. And I would like if you let me know in the chat box or speaking if you're back. Not that I'm. When the whole recording is gone now, I cry. Okay. Is everyone back? Okay. So, yeah, you're welcome to let me know if you're back into these realms. You're welcome to let me know how this journey was for you, how you feel. So it's starting to storm, so the connection gets bad. So yeah, you're welcome to let me know in the chat box how you are, how you feel, so that I know everyone is safe. This is the importance for me to know how you are, just that I know before go in that everyone is landed back into reality, that I'm not losing anyone into the underworld. Good. Yeah, and I would love to hear how it was for you and how you're all feeling, but also if you just want to process and digest this workshop, it's fine too, and maybe you can let me know in private later. I just need to know, at least I need to know if it's all good for you. And if you received everything. Okay, so does anyone wants to share? Otherwise, I would close this space now.